Chaldean Mafia, Harrio and Ray, Baja and Lewis. Baja and Lewis are currently in prison. And as I talked in that last segment, talking about Harrio, right when the task force was putting their case together about these hits that happened that he supposedly commissioned, and plus his drug trafficking and everything else they got going on, the robberies, the murders, the assaults, kidnapping, plus distribution. So they're putting together this case when it comes to Harrio. And he ended up, I'm pretty sure he probably didn't know that they was putting this case together, but Harrio ended up getting shot. I remember that vividly. Like I said, I knew Harrio and Ray. I liked Harrio and Ray. They were super cool, you know. I mean, we see these guys on a daily basis, as I said. But it came to a situation where, like I said, they started having beefs within their own community, and they was having internal beefs with people from their own clique. And that's usually how a lot of this stuff happens. You know, you usually have your biggest beef with people you actually know, people you actually supposedly ride or die with, people you started out in the game with. Y'all was getting money together, you know. But when it comes to money and the streets, and it's no honor among thieves, and these guys are no different. But what happened with Harrio, he supposedly went to a meeting, and he got to this meeting and he got ambushed. He ended up getting ambushed and he got shot 5 times. And at this particular time, he's only 25 years old. So he got ambushed, supposedly going to this meeting, and he got shot 5 times. It was a lot. It was the word out on the streets that these guys had beef going on, and people knew they had beef going on because, like I said, it was a soap opera at that time, so you paid attention to what was going on the streets. You know, you paid attention. Then, like I said, we knew Ray and all them. Ray would tell us. You know, he would tell us. You know, he trusted us to just tell us some stuff. I'm sure he didn't tell us all the nook and cranny thing about the business, but you know, it wasn't no secret he had some beef out on the streets. He would tell you that. So but when Harry got over there to this supposedly meeting, they ambushed him, you know. So he was all shot up, and I remember when Harrio went to the hospital, you know, I can't think of the name of that hospital right at that time, but at that time, I did an episode called Day One G's, and I was a guy named Vito. I talked about in that episode, and at that particular time, Vito was starting to move around in the streets. You know, at this point, these guys are major, and they know Vito very well. You know, they knew Vito very well, so Vito ended up shooting himself in the hand at White Boy Rick's house. He ended up in that same. His hand got affected, so he had to stay in the hospital for a couple of days. And when I went up to the hospital to visit Vito while he was in there. And when we walked in there, this when Harrio was in there. He was in a coma or something like that. You know, it was well-known news. This guy got shot up. It was on the news, and again, I said I know them personally, so we knew about this guy getting shot up, and he was in some type of coma or something. They was hoping he would make it, and he was in there for a minute, maybe a couple of weeks. He survived for maybe a couple of weeks. From getting shot up on Greenhaven Street, that's near John R. This happened on February the 3rd, 1989. That's my homeboy's Tim's birthday. Shouts out to Tim. He doing time in the feds right now. But he got ambushed over there and he got shot up. But he lasted maybe a couple of weeks and he ended up passing away. And that was like Ray's biggest hero. You know, that was his best buddy. And Ray was pissed off that he was even in the hospital, shot up. Now, this brings me to the news reporter, Chris Hansen. You may see Chris Hansen on a TV show called Crime Watch Daily. He had some other shows along the way, but he really built his notoriety off of telling those Detroit street stories. You know, he was the news reporter that would pop up on these scenes with these drug dealers and making all these reports about these guys out there. Chambers Brothers, White Boy Rick, you know. He's talking about White Boy Rick on his TV show to this day. So he really built a career, and the Chaldean Mafia was some of those guys he was covering. Like, these guys really hated this guy. So what happened was a bunch of the drug dealers started putting up money because they wanted to hit Chris Hansen.